Welcome everybody to On My Hoops and our 2023 NBA All-Star Starters Announcement Review Show. Join us as we take a look at which players have been chosen to lead the Eastern and Western All-Star teams this year. We'll break down the selections and give you our thoughts on who should be included in the starting lineups and who's getting snubbed in the process. So sit back and relax as we give you the lowdown on all the All-Star starters and provide our expert analysis of the selections. And as always, I'm John J. And with me once again is D Snow from The Go. What's good, Snow?
Man, back in the house, the All-Stars have been released. Looks like we were right there when it comes to the stars when we chose ours because we know a little bit about this. But I'm excited, man. It's another great weekend of basketball. Hey, my man AD is back. The Lakers are 3 games out of the 4th spot. I can't do nothing but be excited right now, Jay. How you been, baby?
Man, I've been good, man. I ain't got no complaints, bro.
Yes, sir.
And ladies and gentlemen, before we get into this spectacular show we got planned, if you enjoy our show and you want to help us grow, please take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate your help. So, D Snow, now that we have the introductions out of the way, let's dive into our first topic of the day. The Western Conference All-Star starters. Now, as expected, the West has some of the biggest names in the NBA, and they take their place as the starting 5. So let's dive in and take a closer look at these talented players.
Let go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't been paying attention or if you missed the announcement, the Western Conference starters, led by the NBA leading vote getter, LeBron James. We got LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, Zion Williamson, Luka Doncic, and Steph Curry.
That's nasty.
That's a nasty lineup. So, first off, D Snow, what you think about this lineup, aside from the fact that it's nasty, what you just told us?
I mean, for one, shout out to my man Zion Williamson, the baby bear, I call him Charles Barkley 2.0. It's about time my man get his recognition. Yes, people are going to be upset because he got the spot and he's had a few injuries this season, but his numbers are undeniable. 28, 6'4", 62% from the field. Like, Zion deserves that position. I know it's tough because of the injuries, but without that, he is an all-star. The kid is box office. You go get your popcorn whenever you see him on the screen because you know he's going to give you a highlight for the night. It's guaranteed. So I'm just excited to see him now. Of course, got to get love to LeBron James, the 20-year vet out here still riding like he's a brand new 2023 vet. I mean, my man out here doing things that we wish we could do in our 20th year. He looking like he in his prime. And I mean, my hat goes off to that guy. I mean, he deserves to be the leading vote getter. I mean, he deserves all of the praise, all of the honors he's getting. My man is 158 points away from Kareem. I saw a stat today, assists and points combined, so over 62,000 points. That is bonkers, bro.
Yeah,
that is
absolutely.
That's ridiculous, bro. You think of that? I mean, of course, Luka Magic's been doing his thing. You know, he deserves to be there. He twisted his ankle the other night, but I think he's going to be fine. Steph has had a little time out, but before Steph went out, Steph was lights out. He was shooting from half court. He was putting them to sleep. He was doing everything Steph does. And Steph is a perennial all-star, bro. No matter what, as long as he can hit the floor, he's gonna get a pick, and he deserves to be there. I'm happy to see Steph there. And last but not least, the guy who we both picked as our midseason MVP, the Joker himself. Hey, Joker deserves that spot. That team right there. Oh, man, give me that team, that any YMCA, LA Fitness, Park, Rec, Drew League, NBA, wherever. Give me that team as my everything. Because we can't say all USA because 1, 2 of those guys aren't from the USA. But, I mean, man, that team right there is not only full of scorers, but passes, guys that want to have fun. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. I know Zion's going to put on the show with being on that team.
Yeah, most definitely. I think it's definitely a good, strong list. I like everybody that was announced. Um, I think, in my opinion, there's a little bit of controversy in these Western Conference starters, and we'll get into potential snubs a little bit down the line. But I think if you look from top to bottom, these are stars by the definition of all stars. These are the biggest stars in the Western Conference. So I'm
If you
not
didn't know what
mad.
I was doing the gritty a little bit. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was doing my gritty. I think everybody know who that is.
That's the seeded gritty.
The seeded gritty. No, I didn't mean to interrupt you though.
But yeah, I like the list, and you gave a little brief breakdown, but I want to go a little bit into depth for each one of these players and give them the just dues they deserve. You mentioned LeBron. He is 158 points away from becoming the NBA's all-time leading scorer. The year he's having in this year, 37 for LeBron.
Wow.
42, how many years he's been in the league? It seems like forever. But it's insane the numbers that he's still putting up. LeBron is averaging 29.9 points a game, 8.5 rebounds, 7 assists. These are mind-numbing numbers for a 100-year-old.
Facts.
You say it every week. Your knees hurt every time he dunks. And
every time, bro.
Yeah, the fact that he's maintained his shape, he's not really missed many games this year, which is something that, if I'm being totally honest, I got to give him his respect for it. The last few years, he's been having some injuries, and usually over time, that doesn't get better. You usually miss more games, but this year he's playing a lot more. And he's going after a lot of records this year. Also got 19 all-star selections and 19 starts. I believe he's also tied with Kareem in that. So, I mean, it's just insane for one of the best players we've ever seen in the history.
Not too many assists away from being, I think, fourth on the all-time assist list. Like, I mean, the guy's climbing a lot of really incredible ladders right now, man. Seriously, it's awesome.
Absolutely. Just another great season from a legendary player. Well deserving. I can't imagine what life is gonna be like when LeBron is gone. What all stars are gonna be like after LeBron.
But I can. Zion Williamson. Zion is ready to step into those shoes. He's ready.
All right. So since you bring him up, let's go to Zion next.
Yes, sir.
Another kid is having a tremendous bounce back season after missing all of last year. Zion is putting up 26 a game, 7 rebounds, 4.6 assists. And when he was playing, he's injured and he's been out for quite a while. But when he was playing, he had the Pelicans in the number 1 spot. They've not looked the same since he's gone down. So definitely a major player on that team and probably an MVP candidate. Like I say, they haven't really looked halfway as good as they were with him.
If nothing, at least most improved player of the year, at least.
Yeah.
I know you got another candidate out there, but yeah, awesome season.
Spectacular season. And if I'm being honest, this is probably a position that I'm gonna probably get into with my snubs. I got more in the Western Conference than I do in the East. And when I say snubs, I'm using it loosely. I think Zion is well deserving, but I also think he's missed quite a bit of games. And if you're not taking into account the games missed, then I believe it's somebody else that could have gotten that spot. But Zion is one of the most exciting players in the league, and I expect him to put on a spectacular show on All-Star Sunday. So I'm not mad at it by any stretch of the imagination.
Plus the guy I think that you think could, deserve to be there, who I think could probably fit that spot. I mean, what's the odds that he could get hurt in the All-Star game? The way every time he goes down, and look, we ain't even got to say his name later, but people going to pick it up. Every time he goes down, I think the whole NBA world cringes. Like, is he okay? Is he okay? Like, that's not cool,
Yeah, but that's neither here nor there in terms of deservedness. Yeah.
Yes,
but I do agree with you. a collector every time he goes down for everybody. But next up, you mentioned it earlier. Somebody we both got is the leading MVP candidate right now, Nikola Jokic. 25.1 points a game, 11 rebounds a game, 9.9 assists a game. I mean, this is insane. And they played earlier today, and I'm sure those assist numbers are going to go up. So pretty soon it'll be officially a triple-double, a 25-point triple-double average for Nikola Jokic. Snow, talk about the effect that Jokic is having this season for those Nuggets.
Not only are they the number one team in the Western Conference, but he's making them better. He's making it so much easier for that team to not only be good, but for the guys that are on injury to come back and to ease themselves back into the game and not have to rush because he's basically running point. I mean, it's amazing what he's doing from that position. I mean, he's running the pick and roll. He's rebounding well. He's passing great out of the post. He has great post moves. He also hits the three at a nice high clip. I mean, it's hard to find a chink in his game. And that's what you want from not only your MVP, but, the guy that's running the best, team in the league. And like I said, he's making his team better. The average NBA fan could probably only name 3 or 4 people on that team. And besides that, the rest of those guys, that's what makes a MVP. A guy that can take a team that wouldn't be where they are without him, just like we saw with Zion in the beginning of the season, with the Pelicans. But same thing goes here. I really feel like without Jokic, if Joker goes down for a large amount of time, that team is not the same. They might play 500 ball, but they wouldn't be the number one team in the West. That's the toughest conference right now. Of course, the East is a tough spot, no doubt about it, but we all know what's going on out West. They are fighting every night, and I really believe that, that's why he deserves that MVP. Not only because of that, but also because he's having a triple-double from the center position. You don't see that ever. That is amazing to me. So, I mean, what do you think about it, man?
I think you said it best. The center is averaging a triple-double. I mean, that's insanity at its best. And I'm going to make a bold proclamation right now. Some clickbait or whatever you want to call it. But I'm going to go out right now on a limb and say Nikola Jokic is the greatest dad bod center of all time. The greatest dad ball player, probably the greatest dad body athlete of all time.
The Tyson Fury of basketball. Period. The Tyson Fury of basketball, period.
Yeah. Just insane the effect that he's had and the numbers that he's put up. And
yes,
if he gets another MVP, that'll be 3 in a row. The first time since Larry Bird. Just let that soak in for me.
I saw that. And when I saw that, I thought that was pretty amazing that Larry Bird's the last person to do it. But we both know that that's because the NBA doesn't really like to give it out constantly like that. They try to change it up, to switch it up, because there's no reason why MJ shouldn't have got 3 in a row. LeBron should have got 3 in a row. It's a couple of guys that should have got 3. I mean, Kobe probably deserved at least 2 in a row, but they try to mix it up. So, but shout out to that man, because he's earning it. I mean, because at the end of the day, we all believe that Giannis is at least 180 him right now. I mean, it's really, really close when it comes to what they do, not only for the league, but for their teams. The only thing that Giannis doesn't have is that jump shot. He had a little bit, it's getting better. But hey, Nikola, but we're going to start talking about Vucevic in a second. But Joker, I mean, not only does he shoot the 3 at a great clip, he has a nice soft jump shot. He just has a lot in his bag that if you gave that bag to Giannis, oh my God. If Giannis had the same bag as Joker, Giannis would be averaging 45 and 10, easy. 45 and 15, probably with 9 assists, because he just doesn't have that soft touch. And that's what makes Joker head above the rest.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. So, yeah, the Joker definitely deserving of this all-star starting 9. Next on the list, another guy that we got as a strong MVP candidate. The only reason in my book that he's not the leading MVP vote getter right now is because of team success. They've had a little slippage in the last few weeks, and I'm talking about Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic is averaging 33 points a game, 9.1 rebounds, 8.6 assists. Another one of those guys that we think could be the face of the league going forward, along with Giannis and the Joker. Luka has already put up some numbers that we haven't seen ever. And the future for this kid looks bright. I think, barring injury, he can probably, keyword probably, maybe even a maybe.
Yeah, they're going to want to jump
you. He may be able, it's early in his career, way too early for me to say this, so I know people are going to give me some backlash, but he may be able to match LeBron's 19 All-Star starts at this pace. But that
at this pace, he has a chance to match whatever points LeBron leaves on the table at this pace, But like you say, he has a long way to go, but he's on that route. And like I know, he was my preseason MVP. I love what he brings to the game. I love his bag. I think he's a little selfish and he needs to work on that for his team to be better. But when it comes to the box office, what he brings to the game, big shots, big moments, the excitement that he brings to the crowd and to the fans, he's that man. And it's sad to me because it seems like the Americans are starting to lose the race when it comes to basketball, man. And it never was like that. We ran the league for many, many, many years. And now when you look around the league, most of the guys that are really making noise are from other countries. And we got to step back up and take that crown. Not just with USA, but with our own league. Like, these guys are working harder than us. And and it's showing on the court and it's showing in the fan voting as well. Because look at the starters,
Yeah. It could realistically be Joker, Luka, and Giannis as the top 3 MVP candidates. All foreigners, foreign-born guys.
With Embiid with a close fourth.
There you go.
The guy that put up 48-17 today as of this show. So he wants back in. I think he saw those All-Stars. He didn't make it in the starters, and he went out there and he showed Joker something today. And I loved every moment of it. He went right at him. He wasn't looking for a switch. He wanted him, and he put up 48 on Joker's head, and it was nice to watch. But one game is not about the whole season. Half of this season, Joker's been doing it. So, but it's nice to see Embiid, grabbing that and saying, "Look, I'm not all. I saw what y'all did. I'm slighted." He felt slighted, and you can see it.
Yeah, and we'll get into Embiid later, but I will say he's been doing it all year.
Oh yeah, but he's leading the league in scoring. Let's get it,
But let's next up on this list, the great Steph Curry, the greatest 3-point shooter of all time, averaging 29.3 points a game, 6.2 rebounds a game, and 6.2 assists a game. Let's talk about the defending NBA Finals MVP Steph Curry.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say that once he's done playing basketball, most threes made ever would never be touched. Nobody's going to catch that, bro. I don't care what anybody says. Unless a kid comes out here and only shoots threes for the rest of his life, it's going to be hard to catch. When you look at how many times he's hit 10 threes in a game, he's the only one with those records. Nobody else. I think Clay might have done it once. And it's just amazing. If you just watching him practice shoot is fun. His little routine in the beginning, and it just really shows you how talented that kid is. But I really think that'll never be touched. When it comes to who he is for this league, I say it all the time. The babyface assassin, he's the most hated guy online. Dudes do not like Steph Curry. And you want to know why? Because they favorite LeBron James should have more championships. But Steph Curry and the Golden State Warriors stopped that. So he's going to forever be hated by this generation. And guess what? I love it. It's nothing like that Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker when it comes to sports. And basically, Steph is Luke. Because he came out of nowhere and took that from them. And now LeBron is steady trying. At this point, people are saying, hey, if Steph gets one more, where do you put him? And that's a nice conversation to have. And they are starting to roundabout and look a little better. That team playing pretty decent, for him to have been gone. And now that he's back there playing better. And that's what Steph does. Like, my hat goes out to him finally getting that MVP last year. I think that catapulted him and not only within the game, our heads and our minds, but it helped him. It pushed him up to give him that extra confidence of who he is. He already knew who he was, but those MVPs matter. Now I got regular season MVP and I got finals MVP. Now what y'all got to say? Now if he go get another chip, we talking another language. Now we it's hard to find somebody in that top 10 to take out. But if this guy has the numbers he has the rings he has, the records he has, it's a conversation to have about top 10. I'm not saying this yet. I don't even know who to take out if we did it. But I think at the end, at the end of his career, especially if he can get another ring, the conversation has to be had is whether Steph Curry's staying in the top 10 all time.
Yeah, it's definitely looking good for him. But I'm gonna go back over something you said because you messed up. You didn't use the Star. You used the Star Wars reference to a diehard Star Wars fan. I'm a proud nerd. And so if LBJ is the Darth Vader and Steph is Luke, does that mean that the year Cleveland came back and won that series against Golden State is that the Empire Strikes Back?
Yes, sir. Why do you think they wouldn't get KD? KD is
he cut his arm off on that.
Right. The KD, that's my man, not Luke Skywalker. What's Harrison Ford?
No, KD was Chewbacca.
Yeah, there you
go. The big man. Clay, that's Han Solo because he talked the trash.
He do talk a lot of trash. Hey man, I am turning into a Clay Thompson fan. I didn't used to be one. I used to talk so much stuff about he wasn't top 5. Y'all know we getting off topic. Let's get back to this.
I don't want to interrupt you, but hey, shout out in the comments if you like Star Wars and let us know who your comparison is.
Yes, sir. Who is the real Luke? Who is the real Darth Vader? We all know who the Darth Vader is. The evil empire. That's LeBron. That's Rich Paul. The evil empire.
Yeah, Rich Paul is Palpatine.
No, man, but I'm excited to see. One of the things I always notice every All-Star game, Steph tries to catch a hoop. Every single time, man. He tries to catch a hoop. He's trying to bounce one to himself. Man, I love Steph Curry, man. I don't care what nobody says, man. He is the meaning of what's cool about basketball, man. I love everything he brings to the game. I love the post-game thing when he brings his daughter out, and I love it all, man. Chef Curry for president, man. That man is forever. I'm always had love for him, even though I'm not a Warriors fan.
I like it. Yeah, Steph, just what else can be said? The king of the three, Mr. All-Star. You can't have one without Steph. As long as he's healthy, he's there. Yes. Very deserving. I'm just 1 to 5. This is a great lineup. It should be an exciting game.
Yeah.
So, out of the Western Conference only for now, do you have any snubs?
Well, it's going to be tough to say snub. Like you said, because everybody that's there deserves to be there. If I did want to talk about who could squeeze in there, if it was because of injury, Ja Morant is having a great season. He's averaging somewhere around 28, 7, and 5 or something like that.
He's averaging 27.3 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, and 8.1 assists. So,
tad bit. But as you can see, I watch basketball.
No doubt.
I bet a little bit, too, just a little bit. But no, not only is he having a good season, last year, whenever he didn't play, his team was better. It's not like that this year. They're better when he's out there. That team is better. The chemistry is better. Their attitude is better. I don't even like watching him when he's not on the court. It's not the same team. I don't know if it's just me. But when he's not there, it's it's not even exciting to watch when he's not out there. When he's out there, he is trying to catch a body. Matter of fact, man, I can't lie, man. He the first dude since Derrick Rose to really eye me. He eyes me out of the blue, bro. He tries stuff that shouldn't be tried. Ja, don't stop. We love it, bro.
Yes.
This man is trying stuff that it's not like what is going on? Like when he dunk on somebody, it's like, oh my God. Like, it's like, no.
He goes at all 7-footers.
Look, he dunked on somebody, and I think somebody was like, Ja, that man got kids. It's just dirty. But man, Ja's box office, when we did our picks, I picked him to be on my team because I just love his excitement. I know what he brings to the game. I think he's going to be slighted. Hopefully this helps push them when it comes to the playoffs because they haven't been playing well. I mean, speaking of Memphis, I mean, since the dust up with Shay Shay, they haven't won a game. Yeah. I think that's like profound.
5 straight losses or something.
5 straight losses since the dust up. They were on a roll. They were like number 2 in the West, doing their thing, and they really have been on a downward decline. And I think it's not only a problem. I think that did kind of mess up some chemistry, but who knows what's going on inside the locker room that we'll never know. I'm not a Dillon Brooks fan, but you are. But if you notice, he has been he's been playing defense, but he's been a little less on all of the activity he was doing because he was starting to get a little.
It'll be back. That's who he is. It'll be back.
I noticed when he's playing D on people, like he's running his mouth the whole time. Like when he's playing defense, he's running his mouth. He grabbing your jersey. He's doing all that stuff we did in the 80s and 90s when I was coming up. I can't lie. That's why I can't hate on him as a defensive player. I just don't like dudes that talk it ain't won. He irritates because you ain't won nothing. You the true value Lance Stevenson, bro.
I think he's a little better than Lance, but Lance had I think Lance had a couple games.
Lance will make him dance.
I'm not down.
Lance will make him dance.
I think Brooks is a little bit better than Lance, but Lance has some good years.
I don't know about that, bro. That's another conversation. Similar. No, but but I think that might have hurt him a little bit, man. They haven't been playing well, but he has been in and out of the lineup. But I think something happened there, man. They haven't been the same since that night, and hopefully they can find a way to turn it around because I want them to be ready when it's time. I want to see a good Memphis Grizzly team, put out their best when it's time to go get it, when the postseason kicks in.
Yeah, no doubt. They still got the 2 seed, but they're tied now with your Kings. So, yeah.
The Sacramento Kings.
So, are you saying that Ja is possibly your only snub so far?
I mean, AD, but of course the injuries. He is back as of today. He back as of the last game. And first game back, he already showed us he was ready to go. He didn't look bad. He didn't look rusty. He's playing pretty well today. I think the injury bug is the only thing that stopped him because he should be starting in Zion's place if he wasn't hurt. No doubt about it. I think the Lakers are 4 games or 3 games out of the 4th place, something like that. With AD out there, we're talking Lakers in the top 3. Let's be honest here. Let's just be. I mean, I know it's been a tough season. They did start out really slow, but at this point in the season, like the way they've been playing and actually starting to beat good teams and playing better. Now that Clipper loss that they had a couple of days ago, that was a bad loss. I think the Clippers outbeat them 10 straight teams, 10 straight times, which is amazing to me, but I really believe that AD did deserve to be there. The injury stopped him. But yeah, besides that, I think everybody else, I mean, it's hard to knock the guys that are in those spots out of it, being honest with you. I think they all deserve it. Those 2 guys, I think, deserve honorable mentions.
Yeah, I got a couple. I will acknowledge the Ja Morant, although I am one that thinks Steph deserved that start nod. But Ja's had a great season and he's played, off the top of my head, I believe he's played more games. I got to officially look that up. But Ja's having a great season. I will say, here's where it gets tricky for me. Again, I like Zion. I think he is probably the most exciting player at that position. So I definitely want to see him start. But Anthony Davis should be the starter. And if you're going based off games missed, off injuries and games missed, I mean, Zion has probably played like 2 more games than AD. So, I mean, that's not – and if you're going based off of that, AD is putting up 27 points a game, 12 rebounds, 2 assists. He should be if you're going based off if you're taking
AD has LeBron though. AD has LeBron. Zion doesn't have that.
Yeah, but that means he should have less points, right? that means Zion should be scoring more.
No, because it's AD's team, and we all know Zion isn't a prolific scorer. He's a very high volume scorer. So he's going to give you great numbers with great, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I think numbers wise, AD has outscored them, out rebounded them, out defended them.
I mean, AD is a better player. Let's be honest, man. Nobody's knocking that.
Yeah,
AD is a better player than Zion right now at this moment in their lives.
Yeah. So, and then here's my other half of the argument. If you decide to take injuries into the equation, then Zion and AD both get excluded. Then I believe it should be between Domantas Sabonis and Lauri Markkanen. Yeah. Again, if you're taking out injuries, if you're accounting for the injuries and you're not including AD for the injuries, that means you can't include Zion for the injuries because they've missed about the same amount of games. So next in line, Sabonis and Lauri. Now, granted, their numbers aren't as sexy. Lauri's, though, is closer to Zion's. But Sabonis is a Mr. Do Everything. 18 points, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. He's almost at a triple-double.
I'm a Sacramento Kings fan. I've been preaching them all year. I've been talking to Sabonis all year. He doesn't deserve to be a starter in an All-Star game. He hasn't made it that far yet. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion.
And you're entitled to that. But if you taking Zion and AD out because of injuries, who else would you put in?
I have to look at it and see what's out there because I don't want to just say something off the top of my head. But I don't think I could get at the Sabonis that fast. I don't think he's earned it. He's had a great season. I'm not gonna lie.
I'm telling you what's out there behind those two is Sabonis and Lauri. Lauri Markkanen is averaging 24.8 a game, 8.7 rebounds a game.
That's tough. I mean, I like both of those guys. I'm not hating and saying that they're not both ballers, not having some decent seasons. I mean,
if you look at Zion's stats and you look at Lauri's stats, you tell me what's the main difference.
That neither one of them deserve to start in the All-Star game.
So you saying Zion don't deserve to start?
Hey, I'm saying when you talk. I mean, of course, I got mixed up because I'm thinking about the Sabonis and Markkanen. But I mean, and like you said, and as I look across the landscape of who else could get that spot, it is pretty tough, man. I mean, because you're right. Because even his numbers aren't even compared to that. Because Jeremy Grant is having a decent season. If you ask me for Portland, he's carried them a lot during the injury times. I mean, Anthony Simons has been off and on. I think he's been like the main stay there when it comes to who's been playing well for them. I mean, I give it
front court though.
I give it to Seagun then for Houston. How about it? Yes.
That is the worst pick I've ever heard in my life.
Look the name up, watch him.
I know who he is.
You turn to a fan. That kid.
I know who he is, and it's pronounced Sengun. I know exactly.
Thank you. Help me out. I can spell it, but I can't say it.
No, not an all-star. That's one of the worst teams in the league. Sabonis is playing for a team that's tied for number 2 in the West.
No, and I'm not trying to take anything from Sabonis. So I was just basically trying to, because you kind of threw me a curveball right there with Sabonis, but I'm not gonna lie. But Sabonis does deserve to be an all-star, no doubt about it. All-star starter, I don't see that. That's just me, and I do like it though. I like it.
Well, yeah. Well, that's my take though. I like Zion starting, but I believe AD should start over Zion. But if AD is sitting because of the injuries, then Zion needs to sit because of the injuries. And in my opinion, that leaves Lauri and Sabonis.
Also, we need to sit Steph too because of the injuries, and we need to put Swiper in that spot. De'Aaron Fox is starter.
Steph played about 35 games.
Yeah, but De'Aaron has been there the whole season. He's having a great season. They're right there. They're above the Warriors. I mean, if we're going to just take people out because of injuries.
I mean, you can use them if you want to, but if you're going to take Steph out because of injuries, I think Josh.
Then Jock in that spot, yeah. It's loaded when it comes to guards out west.
But Steph hasn't missed as much as Zion and AD.
No, Steph deserves that spot. I was just being devil's advocate messing with you.
That's why that's the hot topic for me. Yeah. And again, I'm all for Zion being in it. I think he's going to put on a spectacular show.
No doubt.
I mean, you know me. I preach fairness.
Facts. It's how it's supposed to be.
So, I mean, it is what it is. Ladies and gentlemen, hop in them comments below. You let us know if you got any snubs and if you like our list.
Sure.
So moving on. After the release of the starters for the Western Conference All-Star Game, all eyes in the NBA turned to the Eastern Conference All-Star Game to find out who made the starting lineup for this annual event. Now, the Eastern Conference is filled with talented players, and it is sure to be an interesting decision for the selection committee to have made. So who's going to be in the Eastern Conference All-Star starting lineup? Let's get into the list. Starting with the leading vote getter in the East, Giannis Antetokounmpo, 31 points a game, 12 rebounds, 5.3 assists. Followed by Jason Tatum, 31 points a game, 8.6 rebounds, 4.4 assists a game. Kevin Durant, 29.7 points a game, 6.7 rebounds a game, 5.3 assists a game. Donovan Spider Mitchell, 28.3 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, 4.8 assists a game. And finally, Kyrie, the head case Irving, 26.8 points a game, 5.1 rebounds a game, and 5.2 assists a game. D Snow, how you like that list?
I mean, I can't lie, looking good, man. Just like we saw on the other side, another power pack team full of all-stars. Can't wait to see what it's going to look like. I expect a lot of oops. I expect Giannis to go crazy. I expect that KD against LeBron matchup. I'm excited to see what's going to happen, man. Jason Tatum, he's having a great season too, man. This is going to be a great game, man. What you think?
Yeah, I'm with you, man. I can't wait. I wish it was tomorrow. Yeah, high flying. It's looking at this list: Tatum and Giannis and KD and Spider. Yeah. Kyrie finna have hella oops. He finna just put it up there.
Oh, Kyrie gonna be making them dance like Lance.
You know what? Wait a minute. I misspoke because the format has changed. They're gonna do the draft the day of.
Oh yeah,
the All-Star game.
So
we don't know who's gonna be paired up.
Yeah,
so
we don't.
My apologies for misspeaking on that.
Yeah, we did blow that. We blew that.
Yeah. But I'm all for it. I like the team. I think they put together a good list. Again, all deserving all-stars. So let's go ahead and get into it and break this down, starting with the top vote getter, Giannis. Giannis putting up 31, 12, and 5. Dominant as always. One of the faces of the NBA going forward. Might already be one of the greatest power forwards of all time. Who knows where that's going to end up. But Milwaukee Bucks been top 3 the whole season, and Giannis is just doing his normal, everyday average thing. I think to the point where we're starting to get so used to it. It doesn't seem like he's doing so great, but he's not.
Walking 33 and 11.
Slowed down, not one bit.
Walking 33 and 11.
Yeah. What you think about that, Giannis? Talk about him for a little bit.
I mean, at this point, like we talked about more than once, he's the LeBron of this era. I mean, you just expect him to get at least 25 points or more, at least 10 boards or more, a few blocks, and to dunk on a couple of people. You know it's going to happen. It's amazing to see how much better he's getting each season and that he hasn't lost a step. Another guy like LeBron that hasn't dealt with a lot of injuries. It's amazing to see him constantly get back out there and play ball. And for the way he's carried that team without having a healthy I can't look, I slipped his name, but you know who I'm talking about. The other guy who's been Middleton. Yeah, Chris Middleton has been out. He came back and went right back out. And that team has been sticking right there at the top 3 all season long. And it's because of Giannis. So it's nice to see him not only that, but we know he's going to put on an absolute show. Every single year he does some things that wows us. And I'm excited to see what he got ready for us this Sunday. Well, not this Sunday, but that Sunday coming up.
Yeah, no doubt. Giannis is probably one of the most unfair physical specimens ever in the game. To be that size and to do what he does is unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's like, you remember Street Fighter? Remember the old Indian guy, Dawson, however you pronounce his name?
I can't remember how you pronounce it either, but I know.
Everybody wanted to fight with him and fight from a distance. That's Giannis out there. Just stretch Armstrong.
I mean, and at the end of the day, he opened the door for Vic. He birthed Vic. Just like how Michael Jordan birthed a lot of guys in the like and ball. Yeah. So, what Giannis is doing not only for the sport, but for his country and for bringing in more talent. People don't understand the volume of what he's doing as a player. If you haven't seen that Disney movie with him, it is a much watch. It was awesome. So shout out to Giannis, man. He deserved that spot. Yeah, seven time now.
I think him and the Joker are redefining what the big man means.
Facts. Stretch 4, stretch 5.
Yeah. So moving along, Jason Tatum. For those First place Boston Celtics, 31 points a game, 8.6 rebounds, 4.4 assists. Talk about the year Tatum's having.
We talked about this more than once, man. Jason Tatum is not only an awesome player, part of that Kobe tree, fearless, man. Fearless is the word I got for that kid. I mean, he's one of those kids that is, you don't see a lot of them anymore. I mean, when he misses, he just keeps coming. He doesn't get down on himself. He doesn't start to get passive. He just continues to attack. And I love that about him. He's playing great defense. He's rebounding. He's doing everything it takes to keep that team in the top two. The only reason why I think he is not a higher grade with the MVP is because he has Jaylen Brown on his team. But besides that, you can't take anything away from who he is. He's actually one of the first Dukies to actually be something in the league. You don't see a lot of dudes come from Duke and actually be what Jason Tatum is doing. And he's redefining what a Duke player could do for the league. I think the best Dukie to me that ever came out of it was, Grant Hill. And he never really got a chance to be who he could be. And Jason Tatum is having a phenomenal season, man. He should still be in that top 5 MVP at the end of the season, no matter what.
Yeah, no doubt. Like you said, he's redefined and he's taken away that Duke stigma.
Yeah.
Before him, like you said, Grant Hill, Carlos Boozer, Luol Deng,
Jay Williams. I mean, I'm sorry. Kyrie Irving. I didn't mean that. I love you too, boo.
Kyrie went to Duke, but he was barely at Duke.
I mean, and that's why we always forget. Right. What did he play? Did he even play 10 games, bro?
I want to say 5 games, yeah.
He didn't even touch the tournament, so.
I don't even think he touched conference play.
They was like, nope, we going to the league. Yeah, you don't need none of this.
But yeah, you're right. Tatum has been in our top 5 MVP candidates list this entire season. That team has led the NBA this entire season in record.
That's not easy.
He's having an amazing year, and I think, like he said, he's getting overshadowed by playing with another great sidekick in Jaylen Brown. I call him sidekick loosely because on any other team, he'd be their star.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Tatum, shout out to him. He's having an amazing season, and he should definitely be a top MVP candidate going forward. Probably, definitely the top American-born candidate right now.
Facts.
So moving along, the great Kevin Durant, 29.7 points a game, 6.7 rebounds a game, 5.3 assists a game. Talk about the year that KD is having for the Nets.
Man, for all you KD fans, isn't it nice seeing KD coming back next week? If you like me, you were worried. You were worried. Is he going down again? Is this another one of those injuries? I mean, he's getting long in the tooth. I mean, he's never been a big guy on lifting weights. His body looks like he could just break at any moment. And to hear my man coming back full strength and that he's okay and he's going to be ready to go, that means a lot to not only me, to other fans, but the league. I'm excited to see what KD has in store in this latter part of his career. And I can't wait to see him in the All-Star game. Him and LeBron always goes at it. He always has a good time. He always got a smile on his face. And, I mean, I think it's just going to be awesome to have him out there because I really believe him and Curry are going to find a way to end up on the same team. And I expect to see a lot of threes from real far. And I love me some KD, man. I'm excited to see what he's going to do. You know, he's going to know he's getting old. He's not going to be doing a lot of dunking and all the crazy stuff, but he's the elder statesman. Think about that. KD is the elder statesman on this team. 13-time All-Star. He has more than anybody else that's there. He's done this over time and time. And actually, excuse me, he started on both teams.
Yeah.
West and East. How many people can claim that besides LeBron, probably? But that's a pretty cool feat to say, hey, I started on both sides of the ball. And I'm excited to see what KD's going to bring. I hope he's ready to go. And I hope he's not rusty. I want to see him have some fun out there.
Yeah. That's a good point. Ladies and gentlemen, get in them comments. Let us know who you remember being an all-star starter for both conferences. Did Melo start in the East when he was with New York?
I wonder, did he? We have to look into that.
Yeah.
He might have, because he did have a couple of good seasons with them. He might have. We have to look into look and see if that's a true fact, because he could have.
Off the top of my head, I want to say he did, but I'm not 100% sure on that.
Fun fact: Melo has made the most money up to date, contract-wise, in NBA history.
Really?
Isn't that, yeah.
Even today with the $200 million deals?
They haven't earned those yet.
I mean,
Melo got that money already in his bank account. Once it's over, they probably will beat him. But what's been gathered and been earned, Melo has made that back.
That's a good point. What about Harden? Harden made his already, didn't? Because he just signed another deal.
He did, man. I remember they restructured his or something. Remember that? He did something. So, I mean, it's up there, though. I mean, it's at this point, man, all of these guys, if they're not sitting on at least 150 somewhere, they crazy. There's no way you're not sitting on at least that if you made 300. You know, like it's only so much spending and blowing money you can do, you know?
No doubt. But yeah, shout out to KD. Great to see him still on top. No slippage in his game.
Yeah.
At this point in his career. Next up, first time in the East, first season in the East, and came out the gate swinging for his first All-Star start. Donovan Spider Mitchell, 28 points a game, 4 rebounds a game, 4.8 assists a game, and a 71 point performance against our Bulls. Talk about Spider in this year he's having.
Hey, what more can we say about Spider Mitchell? I said it before. Leon Rose blew that. He should have traded quickly and whatever it took to get that man. Right now, the Knicks are having a great season. Imagine if they had Spider. They would be that much better with another club. Oh, man, top 3. Let's be honest. They would be top 3 if they had Spider right now. Because they're not only playing great defense, they're playing well together. They got a great point guard, and he wants to be there. He's a New York guy. It would have been a perfect home going. The Knicks would have been selling out every game. We'd have had all of the stars back. It would have been a show-style Knick game like it used to be. But because they're playing well, nobody's going to jump on Leon's back. I'm happy for the Knicks. But at the end of the day, Cleveland, right now they're top 5 in the league. They're playing well. They've had a lot of injuries during the season. And Spider has been one of the mainstays. He's played very well. He's kept them afloat. Put up 71 on the Bulls this year. 71 is not a small thing to look at, even in this age and era of the league. 71 points. Anybody that's ever played basketball just playing 21. Man, 21 points is tiring to put up. Imagine putting up 71, you know, and that's what the man did. He put up 71, and he made it look easy. He was balling that night. But, I mean, Spider deserves that spot. He is, right now, the number 1 shooting guard in the East right now. Let's just be honest. He's playing well. He's earned that spot. It's a lot of great guards out there. Jaylen Brown, salute to you. You're having a great season. You know, it's a couple other guys I could say. But right now, Spider is that man. He earned that spot, and his team is playing well because of him, not in spite of him. I love saying that, and that's what it is with him. But yeah, man, shout out to Donovan Mitchell, man. That's one of my low-key, I got love for Shorty. I love seeing what he does. He's a small 2 guard that plays bigger than he is.
Yeah, great to see the impact he's had on this young team. He's come over and instantly become the leader, and they've embraced him. He's shown that Utah underutilized him, if that was possible. I like everything Spider's doing. Put the ball in his hands, and he's showtime. And he's got that team looking like a real legit contender this coming season, or this, for the playoffs. And he's box office. I just love Spider's game. He's fun to watch, and that's another one that will dunk on anybody.
Oh, and it's funny to me how Rudy Gobert has regressed since they broke that relationship up. He made Rudy Gobert a better player, and people don't even notice it.
Yep.
Rudy has fell off the map since they broke him up and he left Utah. And that's because Spider made that kid better. Like he's making the Cleveland Cavaliers better right now.
Yeah, 100%. Love Spider and everything they're doing over there.
Yes, sir.
Last but not least, Mr. No Shoe Deal, Mr. Head Case, Kyrie Irving, 26.8 points a game, 5.1 rebounds a game, and 5.2 assists a game. Talk about the year he's having, Snow.
What more can we say about Kyrie Irving except that he has earned that bag? Pay that man. Pay that man. I'm rooting for SIA. If you don't know who that is, that's somewhere in America. That is a black-owned shoe guy. I would love to see him match up with Kyrie and let him get some of that bag as Kyrie ascends on to the next level. Kyrie still has another 5 to 7 good years in him, at least. And he's got nothing but gas in the tank. He's playing well. He's finally starting to not only score, but the team wins. Remember, he would put up 50, they would lose. It's not like that now. He's starting to find a way to play better with people. I think instead of letting the things that's happened in his life discourage him and make him less better player, he's actually stepping up. He's quieted down. He hasn't had a lot to say. He's letting his game do the talking. And I'm just excited to see him get over that hump because sometimes our guys don't get a second chance. You look at the Kaepernicks and the Terrell Owens. You look at older guys that get into trouble and all of a sudden they find their way out of their leagues. We've seen it even in the NBA, and Kyrie almost found himself out of the league, and he slowly but surely played his way not only back into the league but into our hearts. And right now, man, he had 48 the other night, and it was just magical watching him do his work. They beat the Knicks today, and that's because he is out there playing some phenomenal ball, making that team better. He is actually carrying the baton for KD, something he usually didn't do. He didn't do that in Boston. He didn't do that in Cleveland. But now he's finally maturing, and everybody knows as guys, sometimes it takes us a little longer to get it. And then with Kyrie, that's what happened, but I'm just excited to see him playing well, doing well, and, not only, doing well, but being rewarded for that. So I'm excited, man.
Facts. And you mentioned black-owned shoe companies, another one. D-Wade, he's got a shoe company, Way of Wade. Jimmy Butler is one of his endorsers. Well, not endorsers, but model athletes. We can also look at black brand shoe companies with Jay-Z and Puma. Also another New Yorker. So yeah, somebody needs to get this man a shoe deal before China does it. The company that's got Clay, they'll sign him.
With the heartbeat, give him all the money he want.
But yeah, great job for Kyrie. He's come back, he's kept his mouth shut, and he's just balled. Just nonstop balling. He's putting together a hell of a season, and those Nets are looking good after a slow start. Shout out to the coach also. That team changed when they made that coaching decision.
Pay that man. Give him the bag he deserves. Why they still treating him like the girlfriend nobody wanted, but you had to take her out? Man, treat that man. That not only are they playing well, they've been top 3 since they got rid of Nash. That team was hovering around the 8th to 10th spot before then. So it's just a shame that, they don't want to take care of these guys. Like, what else do they need to do? They've shown that they can make this team work and that the team is actually getting better now. So let's go ahead and pay these guys, man. Yeah,
no doubt. And also there's extension talks for Kyrie now with Brooklyn. That was something that in the offseason you didn't think was a possibility. So shout out to him for getting back to it. He will get the bag again.
Yes, sir. I think they're going to offer to him something probably around All-Star break. I think they're going to offer him the money. They're not going to wait. Yeah. They're going to offer it to him because they actually like Kyrie. I think it's just the drama that happened. They had to take a stance, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, and him and KD's friendship/partnership, whatever you want to call it, I think he's going to want to just stick with him because they're working together whenever they play.
Hey, they survived the rain at this point. Now let's just keep it moving.
Yeah, no doubt. So that starting 5 is a hell of a list.
Yeah.
You got some snubs.
It's tough, man.
It is tough.
I think Zach LaVine is having a decent season. I think he's not only having a great season, but he's been playing so well. Especially Debo went down for a few games. He carried the Bulls. The Bulls are hovering record-wise when it comes to where you need to be, but I think Zach has not only been playing well, but he's been playing great. This is actually one of Zach's best seasons, if you ask me. So I think he, might have deserved a little talk. Of course, you can always give DeMar DeRozan a little love because he's Mr. Bull. He is our leader. He does very, very well every game, and he brings it. And his numbers out there too. It's tough out east, man. The only thing I could really snub, I saved him for last, is Embiid. Right now Embiid is leading the league in scoring at about 33 a clip, something like that. Yep. As of today, he put up 48-17 on Joker, the guy who we're calling the midseason MVP. Embiid is having a great season, and I think he is feeling slighted right now. if we had to take out anybody and put somebody in, it would be tough. But be honest, if we had to, I mean, for personal reasons, we'd have to just sit down Mitchell. I mean, Mitchell's the newest guy to the East. Yeah, you the two guard, but we can slide Tatum there. I forgot that. So we've talked about this multiple times. When it comes to KD, Giannis, Tatum, and Embiid, those guys are in our top 5 MVP race every single week. Every single week. So if I have to pick 3, it's just you're leaving me with less to choose from. I don't like it. I feel like I'm being corny. It's not fair because Embiid deserves to be on this team. We need to go positionless, man. Let's talk about it. We don't ever bring that up. We never raise that as a concern. It's time to go positionless, man, because there's no reason why a guy that's having a season like him, that's already been slighted by the MVP last season, and then to see the game, he's playing so well, man, and leading the league in scoring. Like, he deserves a start, man. It's just, like you said, it's just, who do you sit,
Yeah, that's a tough one. And as far as the positionless thing, that's an argument that I've been seeing pop up a lot lately. Personally, I'm not a fan of going positionless. You need guards.
You take away from people getting their chances, yeah.
You need guards. In fact, if I'm being totally honest, I wish they would go back to adding a center to being each position instead of just backcourt and front court. But I think Joel Embiid was a snub. The season he's having is ridiculous, and I know it's impossible to sit one of those top 4 front court players in the East. But if I had to take my choice, it would probably be KD. Granted, KD, yes, is having an MVP caliber season, but
the injuries.
I don't think it's the injuries, and I don't think KD is having a better season than Tatum. I don't think KD is having a better season than Giannis, and I don't think he's having a better season than Embiid. KD's putting up an amazing stat line, 29.7 a game, 6.7 rebounds, 5.7 assists. In any other year, that's MVP numbers. But you said it time and time again, you just can't come with regular stats this season. You got to come with top tier.
But I got to disagree, though. When Kyrie, matter of fact, that team went through the most with the coach, with Kyrie, with trading Harden, with everything that just happened. KD carried that team through all of that. Kept them
100%.
afloat. Matter of fact, took them up. They were going up. So I think it's kind of hard to sit him when, he's beat everybody that's out here, he's beat them. He's beat every team that's out there. All of these other guys, let's go back to it. We're a couple of feet from him going to the finals not too long ago. A couple of inches. Not even.
That was a couple years ago, though. That's not this season.
I'm saying, but you know what I mean, though. Like, KD, to me, he still has that he's still that grandfather over them. Where it's like, hey, he hasn't been dethroned by these younger guys in my eyes yet. I think he deserves that 13-9.
But I'm not giving out a legacy award for the All-Star.
Oh, it's not a legacy award. The man is balling.
The way you just described it, grandfather and all of that.
Because I'm giving him a little more reason why you push him to the front.
Yeah, I get all that, but he's not balling. He's not outballing Tatum. He's not outballing Giannis. And I gave you KD stats versus Embiid. You interrupted me when I was getting ready to compare them. But KD, 29.7 rebounds a game versus Embiid leading the league, 33.4. 9.8 rebounds, 4 blocks. He's amongst the top in blocks. Or I said 4 blocks, but 4 assists. He's amongst the top in the league in blocks. High steal rate. Out of all of those guys on this list, Embiid is having the best defensive season. And the Sixers have played their way into the number 2 seed. They've won like 5-6 straight games. Out of all of those candidates, Embiid is probably the one that Embiid and Giannis are the ones I can't sit down. To me, that is between Tatum and Durant, and I think Tatum has had the better season so far.
His team has to. I feel you. It's a nice argument. It's a nice argument.
Just like with the West, I'm not mad at it. KD is an all-star. He is a legend. He's an MVP candidate. And any other year, he should be the starter. And we've said it for the last couple of weeks. You can rotate and pull any one of those top 4 guys out, and it's still a top tier All-Star event. But,
no doubt about it.
I just think out of those candidates, he's probably having the least season. But I digress.
Is that even a word? You can't say least. Just let's move on, man. I don't like it.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop myself because I ain't like the but
least.
But I mean, out of all of those guys, he's probably had the least impactful season compared to those out of all those 4.
Okay.
But still an amazing season.
Facts.
So yeah, that's the only name I got. Embiid is the only one that I think that I would call a snub.
Okay.
But loving the list. So moving on. The All-Star reserves of the Eastern and the Western Conference have yet to be announced, but there's no shortage of talented players who could be deserving of being named to this team. From the prolific scoring of stars like Ja Morant of the Memphis Grizzlies and Joel Embiid of the Philadelphia 76ers to the all-around player Trae Young of the Hawks and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander of the Oklahoma City Thunder. The selection of reserves will certainly be no easy task. Who will have the honor of filling out the All-Star rosters? Well, we're going to make our picks right now real quick. So starting with the West, D Snow, you want to go first or you want me?
Go first.
Okay. My Western Conference reserves. I'm going to give you my 7, and then I'm going to include an injury reserve. So, starting off, I got Sabonis. Domantas Sabonis, I mentioned earlier the season he's having. 18 points a game, 12 rebounds, 7 assists. And the Kings, number 2 in the West right now. Anthony Davis. I think he should have been a starter. And without him being a starter, I'm not sure if the coaches will vote him in as a reserve because of the amount of missed games. His best chance was to get voted in. But I could be wrong. But the season that he's having is just amazing. 27-12. They're a different team when he's on the floor. Lauri Markkanen. I mentioned before, 24.8 a game, 8.7 rebounds a game. This is my most improved player. Lauri Markkanen is having an amazing season. And if by chance one of those power forwards aren't ready to go, I think he should probably be one of the first calls as a reserve starter. After that, I got Ja Morant. Ja Morant is another player that could have been a starter. 27 points a game, 8 assists, 5.5 rebounds. Ja Morant is that dog of those Memphis Grizzlies. And here's another one. It may be controversial because of the team success. Actually, these next 2 players, their teams aren't having the greatest seasons, but these 2 guys are having amazing seasons. The first guy, Dame Lillard. 30 points a game, 7.4 assists a game, 4 rebounds. Dame time. He's still playing effective ball. That team has slipped quite a bit over the last few weeks, but they're still in the running for a play-in team, for the play-in tournament. The other player I got is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. 30.9 points a game, 4.8 rebounds a game, 5.6 assists a game. Amazing season for Shai G. Swipe of the Fox. De'Aaron Fox, 23.8 points a game, 4.3 rebounds, and 6.1 assists. Swiper's having an amazing season. Also on that number 2 Western Conference, number 2 in the Western Conference, Sacramento Kings. Last but not least, my Western Conference injury reserve, Anthony Edwards. 24.5 points a game, 6 rebounds a game, 4.5 assists a game for those Minnesota Timberwolves that are in the play-in as we speak. So who you got, Snow?
How many slots I get? 8?
Yeah, the 8th being the injury reserve.
Right. And for one, that's a slap in the face to Ant. Not only are they having a decent season, they're actually over 500, which you don't see a lot from that team.
Wait, go back. What's the slap in the face?
Injury reserve? Man, that man needs to be on the floor, injury reserve. So let me run through this.
Over who?
Look, here's my 8.
Come on.
First, we're going to start out with, of course, Anthony Davis. Let's get him in there. He's back. He's having a decent night tonight. As of right now, the Lakers are winning that game against Boston with less than a minute left, and it's because he's back. So that's important to get him out there. My next player that needs to be out there, Lauri Markkanen. He's having a phenomenal season. I want to see Lauri in the game. He went from the East to the West. He's carrying that Utah team. He's playing well. My next guy, Sabonis. Y'all know I've been preaching about those guys all season. It's all about the Sacramento Kings. They are in that top 5. They're playing like they want to be there. If you watch them play against the best teams in the West, they're not afraid anymore. They're not making those mistakes at the end of the game they used to make. They're playing well, and he's one of the reasons. He's the catalyst of their defense, if you ask me. My last forward that I'll bring onto the game, and I believe that my man belongs there. I'd love to see if he's there. It'd be nice to see him. Y'all gonna hate this, but Kevon Looney. Kevon Looney deserves to be there.
You're right.
Get my man in the game. Get my man in the game. Kevon Looney. Get him in the game. I love seeing the underdog win. I would love to see Kevon Looney get him a one-on-one against somebody and try to shake him up and shoot a 3 or try to dunk on him from the free throw line. Kevon Looney. Don't forget the name. He's an NBA champion. Matter of fact, 3 times. Kevon Looney. My guards that need to be there. Of course, Swiper. Swiper got to be there. Why not? The man deserves to be there. His team is playing well. I need Swiper there. I talk about that kid enough. I don't have to talk about him. Y'all know how I feel. He deserves a spot. Next, Shay G. Shay G deserves to be in the game. No doubt about it. The kid's having a good season. Everybody thought his team was going to tank. They haven't. They're playing decent. And it's because of him. He's averaging, over 28 points a game right now, somewhere around 29 and a half. My man is balling, man. My last person that needs to be there, Anthony. Hank is playing well. I watched the other day, he had an interview with the kid, and they were saying how, the stigma that's going around about how he doesn't really like basketball that much. And he's like, I'm in the gym more than all the guys I know. I'm practicing more than all the guys I know. I don't know who says that about me, but I love basketball. And he's
been saying that since the draft.
Yes, sir. And I don't understand why these tags get stuck on black players. Well, I'm not going to say I don't understand it. That's another conversation for another day. But my injury reserve, if somebody gets hurt, Russell motherfucking Westbrook. Yeah, I said it. Not only is Westbrook having a decent season coming off the bench, he's doing something we didn't expect. The reason why the Lakers are a couple of games after that 4th spot is because of LeBron James and Russell Westbrook. I'm very proud of him. His numbers are great. He's been giving us triple doubles off the bench. You don't get that out of your bench guys. Any other season, he will be in that 6th man, but he started a few. And then, I don't think he even cares about awards. He wants the ring, and he'll be my injury replacement.
All right, so let me get this straight, because I don't know if you realize what you just did. You don't think Ja Morant should make the All-Star team?
I got Ja, and it wasn't on purpose, so because I want to have some fun with Kevon Looney. That Kevon Looney piece was fun. I can't lie.
Got him, ladies and gentlemen. Got him.
Okay, Kevon, your mama gonna have to take this picture down. You're not making the game, bro. You see, he was waiting to lower that boom on me, so I'm sorry, Kevon, but Ja deserves that spot, man. You're not going to make it this year. It was nice being an honorable mention. You and Austin Reeves. But yeah, now Ja deserves that spot, man. I'm just being silly. But yeah, Ja, we all know what Ja is. I talked about it before. His team is playing better when he's out there, and he's one of the people that you will pay to go see. A lot of people you don't care about. You'll pay to go see Ja Morant play, and when you go see him, it's going to be worth it. So yeah, he deserves that spot.
No doubt. I somewhat give you a pass on that one because it's hard to forget. It's hard to remember that he.
Man, so many players, bro. Oh, my God.
You're looking at him as a starter. He should have made the starter.
He should have made the starter. Hey, and the thing about it is too, I think I should give an honorable mention to Klay Thompson. He's having a nice season, as well as Dame Lillard. Like you said, when he's not hurt, he is playing well. He had a great night the other night, put up like 44 or something like that. He went crazy. So,
yeah, no doubt. So, ladies and gentlemen, getting those comments. Let us know what you think about our reserves, and
let me know how much y'all hate me about my Kevon Looney take.
Yeah. The only difference in our list, he's got Russ, I got Dame. All right, so yeah, that was fun. The Western Conference reserves. So now let's go ahead and look at the Eastern Conference. I guess I'll start off.
I'll go first this time, man, since you went first last time. Why not? That way you can, that way I can have a little fun, man. All right, so first person for me, man, Pascal Siakam. Yes, I am a Pascal Siakam fan. He's having not only a great season, but he is the man out there. I mean, ever since they got rid of, DeMar DeRozan and they got rid of Kyle Lowry, that was his team, and he's taken that team by storm. He's the reason why they are, at least evenly playing. I mean, they've been on a little downward spin lately. It looks like OG might have got hurt pretty bad last night too. But, I mean, Siakam has been having a decent season, even though he's missed a couple of games. His numbers are great, somewhere around 25, 8, and 8. Got LeBron-type numbers right now. I mean, including assists. He's having a pretty good season. My next forward, Kyle Kuzma. Me, myself, as a Laker fan, I never thought that I would see Kyle Kuzma find his way back to being anywhere near All-Star. And I'm not going to lie. He is the best player on the Washington Wizards this year. And I know that they got a couple other guys out there. They got Porzingis, and they also got, the shooting guard who's been hurt all dang on season. So I can't even think his dang on name off top. But, Ball.
Bradley Beal.
Bradley Beal. But, I mean, right now, he's been playing the best for them. He's been the most consistent. He's been actually having some great games, and they've been beating some pretty good teams. So I think he deserves to be there. My next guy that has to be there, and I should have said his name first because he should have been a starter, but Joel Embiid. There's no way he's going to get left off this list. He should have been said first. I apologize to you, Joel. You know you was going to be there. You're going to be the first thing off the bench. If KD doesn't come back, if KD doesn't come back and he isn't healthy enough, that is your spot. We already know that. We've talked about him all episode. There's not much more we can say about it. He's a great player having a great season. My next forward, this is going to be tough, but I got to go with him. Nick Claxton. Nick Claxton's having a decent season for me. Wow. Yeah. You know what, though? Because he is a forward, too. So you know what, Nick? You're cooked. So I'm going to scratch Nick. And the only reason I'm snatching Nick because I'm staying in New York. Julius Randle deserves that spot, man. I don't know what you've been watching, but I think Julius Randle does deserve to be an all-star. The Knicks are having a good season. He's playing well. Matter of fact, when he dunked on Tatum the other night, I don't know if you saw that. He dunked on a lefty with his left. He dunked on a left-handed player with his left hand. I haven't seen that happen too much.
He's a lefty.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought Tatum was a lefty, so he's a lefty.
Yeah. Tatum is not a lefty.
Okay, so I got it mixed.
Yeah.
Man, when he dunked on Tatum, man, that was a nasty dunk, man. And, I mean, he's really been having a decent season. He's the forgotten guy that people – I remember when he was with the Lakers and people never really thought he was going to pan out to be that great. And he's been having a nice tear the last few seasons. So I think he deserves to be there. Let's get to my guards. All right. So for my guards, I have to say that, first of all, the first guard I'm going to bring in is going to be Jaylen Brown. He's having a decent season, too. He is the other half and the other reason why they are playing well in Boston. The only reason why we can't just let Tatum run away with the MVP is because that kid is the other half of their GOAT. He is, you don't see a lot of two-man teams that do it, but you see it happening with him, and you also see it happening in Brooklyn. But I love what Jaylen Brown brings to the game. Quiet guy, too. You never hear a lot about him. He doesn't say a lot. Every once in a while, he catches a nasty body as well. And his three-point shooting is up this season. He's really been playing decent. Next, Trae Young. Trae Young, if in the beginning of the season, his team was really on the top end of this, they were really playing well. They were in that top three most of the first half of the season, and then all of a sudden, all this stuff started coming out, the coach and flights and missing games. And I mean, I think it's really turned their season around in the wrong direction. But he's still been having a decent season, putting up nice numbers, and nothing like seeing him do his little move. I'm a Trae Young guy. I always have been since college. I love seeing him play. He always has a decent game, and he deserves to be there, no doubt about it. My next guard, we're almost to the end. My next guard is Darius Garland. Darius Garland is the other half of why Cleveland is playing so well this season. I'm really excited to see that kid play. I think he made it last year too, didn't he? Was that last year he made it? Was he?
Yes.
That was last year. I thought so. Okay.
Yes.
And because I remember him hitting some crazy deep shots during the game too. So I'm expecting the same thing from him this season. I love his bounce, man. He has that stop and go, that little hezzy move. He actually, man, I've never really thought about this, but he has a little bit of Kyrie in his game, man. He has some Kyrie in that game. And I'm excited to see what he's going to do. Him and Kyrie back together again. And my injury replacement. I'm going to be a homer, and my injury replacement is going to go to the one and only DeMar DeRozan. There's a lot of people to choose from. It's a lot of players having some decent seasons. It's going to be hard to find the right fit. Because, I mean, Paolo's having a decent season, but their record's not really there. I think Tyrese Halliburton might get a nod, but Indiana, they're not having a bad season. They're doing pretty good, but he still is that just getting to know a guy. You know how that is in the NBA. You don't see guys that come out on the scene, and it's different. If he was averaging 25 and 10, then, but he's having a halfway decent season. So I think there's a chance he could make it, but I think there's an honorable mention there. But I still can't believe Derrick Rose's name is still there. It's crazy to me. I watched that man sit the bench the entire game today. Sitting right next to coach. He might as well be an assistant coach at this point because he does not play. But I know yours are probably going to be totally different because I think Harden deserves an honorable mention. I'm not a big Harden fan. I think he is having a decent season. I just saw he pass most assists in shooting guard history or something like that. I mean, he is having a nice turnaround season for everything that he's been through and all the trauma he's caused to me as a player. But, I mean, what you got, man? Because I know that was crazy, and it's probably going to be nothing like that. I don't know what they're going to bring out, but it's going to be tough in the East. I don't know. So what you got?
Yeah, a lot of similarities,
Okay.
few differences. I got Joel Embiid. We definitely talked about him ad nauseum, so I don't need to get into that. Next up, I got Julius Randle. I'm with you on that. 24.7 points a game, 10.8 rebounds, and 4 assists.
Ooh,
Julius Randle's having a hell of a year.
Numbers. See, I hadn't even seen his numbers, but I've seen it. I've seen it with my own eyes. Yeah, that's good.
Zion comparable, those numbers.
That's true.
Next up, I got Jaylen Brown. 26.8 points a game.
I did you wrong, Jaylen, because you deserve to be there. I'm sorry, Jaylen.
I got your back. 26.8 points a game.
He deserves to be there. We better see him now.
7.1 rebounds and 3.2 assists. Next up, I'm with you on Trae Young. And I let me stop real quick. The guards was probably the hardest thing for me to
Dude, you saw I was all over the place. I was all over the place because it's so tough with the guards, man.
When I'm done, I'm gonna give you my two that I left off that it hurts me so hard to leave, so much to leave them off, but I can't replace them with anybody. But yeah, Trae Young, 27.2 points a game, 9.9 assists, 2.9 rebounds. Even though they slipped in the rankings, they still in the play-in, and he's having a hell of a year. Pascal Siakam, I'm with you on that. Siakam, like Shaq say, Siakam. 25.1 points a game, 8.2 rebounds, and 6.5 assists.
Yeah, I was right on it. Yeah, that dude putting up LeBron numbers for real.
No doubt. Yeah. Hell of a season. He took on that Kawhi role the second Kawhi left. Next up, this is one that you didn't have. And this is a tough one because I wanted a little bit more size on the list, and that's why I left out one of the couple of these guards. But Bam Adebayo. 21.5 points a game, 10.1 rebounds, and 3 assists. Bam Adebayo got to get some size in there, and he's having a really good year. Miami has to get some type of representation in there. So there you go. Next up, I went with James Harden. Jimmy. 21.4 points a game, 6.3 rebounds, and 11.2 assists leading the NBA. James Harden, he's not the prolific scorer he used to be, but he's got a hell of an all-around game.
Embiid makes him look better than he is.
Yeah,
Sorry.
but he was tops in assists for the last few seasons, though. He's been doing that.
He used to play with KD and Kyrie. Continue.
Even in Houston, you forgot about his triple-double year in Houston?
Yeah, no doubt. As you can see, I'm not the biggest Harden fan. I'm not the biggest Harden fan.
But that's his game, though. He's been doing this.
You can't deny him.
He's been doing this.
You can't deny him.
Number two in the East. Number 2 in the East. And last but not least, my injury reserve. You can call me Homer if you want, but I think he deserves it. DeMar DeRozan.
Yes, sir. Same one.
26.3 points a game, 5 rebounds, 5 assists.
And balling. And 5 of 5 from 3 last night. Man. Yeah. No, I'm sorry. Today.
Yeah. So, Debo is definitely deserving. Now, my two that it hurts me to leave them off this list because I think they're deserving. They're having all-star years, but I can't take anybody off. Tyrese Halliburton, averaging 20 and 10, having a hell of a year, and has got Indiana in the playoff race. And Jalen Brunson, he's also having an all-star caliber season, and those Knicks are in the playoff race. And without him,
and I love Jalen Brunson, man. And you see, I left him on my list. It's just so
hard,
deep and crowded. The East is overloaded with talent. It's ridiculous, man.
Absolutely,
it's ridiculous.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, get down in these comments. Tell us what you thought about our selections for the reserves, and you give us your list of reserves. So let us know. So we've come to the end. But before we get out of here, if you enjoy our show once again and you want to help us grow, please, ladies and gentlemen, take a moment to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel. We really, really, really appreciate your help. Thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, from us here at the On My Hoops podcast, we love you and we out.
Peace out, y'all. Stay warm out there, Chicago.
Yes, sir.